Hello, everyone, and welcome to the day plus 10 of my stem cell transplant. It's been 10 days since I received the stem cell transplant, and I'm right now connected to this IV drip. This is dripping at 10 milliliters per hour. I am married to this thing until I leave the hospital, which is probably going to be happening at some point very soon. I've been sleeping pretty well, pretty consistently. I haven't had that much in terms of fever, no nausea at all. I had one day where I had diarrhea, but that went away before the end of the day. My hair has been coming out in clumps everywhere, and it could be that by the end of this week, I even tried to make my hair nice for this video. It could be that even by the end of this week, my hair, I'm just going to be totally bald. I'm not shaving it off, but I'm letting it just naturally fall out from the chemo. But that's hopefully happening by the end. It might be happening by the end of the week. If I leave it gradual, it could be, maybe over the course of 2 weeks. But that is definitely going to happen. So I'm trying to not touch it. Even when I shower, I just let the water go through and not touch it, because if I touch it, I just grab a clump. A clump of it just comes out. Check this out, just like that. Crazy the amount of hair that's popping out. Anyways, so the doctors have outlined for me a path on how I can be discharged from the hospital. So last night I started to feel a throbbing in my lower back, in my hips. This happened in the middle of the night, and I went to sleep super early. I went to sleep 9:30 p.m. I usually wake up 5:30 in the morning. They weigh me, they do bloods, and so forth. I take a shower so that I can pray with the sunrise, which happens around 6:35-ish these days. So I felt this throbbing in the middle of the night in my lower back. And I asked one of the nurses this morning, what in the world could that be? Why would my back throb? I thought maybe I had to go use the bathroom, tried to go to the bathroom, nothing happened. I thought that maybe a kidney stone was kicking up again. And I was scared, last thing I need at this point is a kidney stone, and I have none of the tools or the energy in order to fight it. So the nurses basically spelled out for me and said that my hip bone, which is amongst the largest bones in the body, is the source of my stem cells. And it could be that this major party that's happening is now starting, that these stem cells have now found their way into my hip bone, and they're starting to produce. Now this made sense to me, because if you've ever had a bone marrow biopsy, they lay you on your back, and what's the bone that they're checking? They're not checking your elbow or your arm or your rib cage. Although the rib cage does hold stem cells, but your biggest source of your stem cells that are generated come from your hip bone. So lo and behold, to me there was a suspicion that they were correct. Obviously, they're the doctors, but I checked my numbers, and my white blood cell count yesterday was 0. Today it was 0.12, the teeniest amount. So that means progress. That means great that we're starting to move forward in this direction with the stem cells. That it's starting to to happen like this. So now there's a cost for this. The doctor said that this next month, the next 30 days, even though I won't be here in the hospital, it's gonna be a month of sleep. I'm gonna be completely exhausted. And that's actually what happened this morning. This morning I went to sleep around, after I davened. I was completely knocked out between a hot shower and davening. I just completely knocked out, lay down in bed for about 10 minutes, woke up an hour and a half later, and I was just wiped. And then I got up, I did 1 or 2 things. I had a little breakfast, I had to take some pills, and then I was wiped again. And I basically took 5 naps today. It's almost 6 o'clock. I took 5 naps today, and each nap was about an hour long. That's besides the fact that the family visited, and I tried to spend time with them. Even at the end of their visit, I was already drifting asleep in my bed, or I even did sleep. So everything that I do now within this room has to have a calculated energy expenditure. Even making this video, I'm probably gonna take a nap afterwards. I'm just wiped, because my body is using any available source of energy in order to produce the white blood cells that are happening within the body. So I'm trying to, conserve this energy. I'm just tired, or I just have to despite it, just try to do the things that I can do, and let the body figure out its own source of energy. So again, the path that the doctors have laid out for me being discharged from the hospital, is that at a certain point, these white blood cells, starting from around day 12, maybe around day 14, they start to produce, even though they're showing in my stats that white blood cells are starting to grow, they're going to start taking a separate vial of blood every day. They take like 2-3 vials of blood every day. They're going to start taking a separate vial of blood just to measure and break down within my white blood cells. So they're going to take my white blood, they're going to take this vial, and they're going to give me a daily number, which they haven't been doing until now, of the different white blood cells that are growing. And what they're looking for is something called ANC, which is called neutrophils. Again, I'm not a doctor, I can't exactly spell what these things are, but they told me if my ANC number, which they're going to start collecting the results for on a daily basis around day 12 or day 14, if my ANC hits over 1,000, they are kicking me out of the hospital, whether I'm still going through these tired spells or not. That just means that my body has now accepted the engraftment, and I'm now able to continue recovering, that I have enough resources of my own that I can continue to, walk and talk and do everything without the help of a nurse. And the rest of my recovery could just be like in bed, but it doesn't have to be in the hospital. I can recover in a hotel next to the hospital for about 2 weeks because I still have to come in every day. And then after that point, I can recover at home for like the next few months. So that's my rough path to freedom from the hospital. And hopefully I can hit those numbers. I don't think anybody's ever gotten out before like day 14 or day 16. But we're looking at maybe like this next Shabbos is going to be like the next Shabbos here is the last Shabbos here in the hospital, possibly, depending on the results of how I perform. Worst case scenario, it's going to be, I'm going to be here for a second Shabbos. But that's it for right now. I'm really not accomplishing much. I really feel bad because I like to accomplish, I like to do. And I can't believe that the entire day went by. It's about 6 p.m. And all I have to look back at is just a bunch of sleep. And I'm about to go back to sleep again for tonight. So, all right, whatever. Hopefully this is not every day, or maybe it should be every day. Let my body grow these stem cells. So we'll take it one day at a time. I'm going to, of course, still try to do what I have to do. I'll continue to exercise, eat, sleep, and drink a ton of water. Anyways, everyone should have a great day, and I'll give you guys an update as it happens. Have a good one.